Yo, what's up, guys? Emergency ban list, please. It's that time. Well, it has been that time a couple of times, past couple of weeks and months. And let's start off with, in the beginning, we have, at least we've had YCS in Indianapolis past weekend. And I think most people already saw the pie charts, floating around on social media, on the Konami official, Facebook page, website, coverage page. And let's zoom into the top 32 breakdown. This is the one. And the first thing, that catches people by surprise, but that's not really the case, is Snake Eyes, 63%. And then most of the, top cut percentage are just Snake Eyes. People are screaming Tier 0 format for some time now. We've had some Tier 0 formats past couple of years, the most notable one most recently being Tier Element, with the Ishizu stuff and so on, but more specific, this comes to no surprise. Ever since we got popular and, the more Snake Eyes support, people have been picking like pure Snake Eyes over the other decks, because Fire is just here, while the other decks are here, right? And Tenpai presumably had some high expectations, but they need their new support, more support, their new support from Infinite Forbidden, which is, by the way, right around the corner. So it will put the deck solely based on the OCG format and their meta-analysis. It kind of will put them on somewhat same power level, but then again their format is different. Maxi, Snake Eyes has already been hit to some extent, so it's hard to compare, but you know what I mean. Tenpai needs their second wave, another wave of support. So there is some diversity, but more so 63% of top 32. That's a lot. While zooming in on top 8, again, no exceptions, no surprise. This is clearly the problem that Lep is still there. Yes, silly joke, but you know what I mean. Like this. You can kind of see that there is something wrong. Like, eventually, Snake Eyes took the entire tournament again, no surprise. Paulo Conchavez, I hope I pronounced your name right, Paulo, huge fan. With this particular decklist, but the top 4 decklists, they were revealed a couple of hours ago, some time ago on the Konami website. There are some live profiles up as well, but again, like pure Snake Eyes, it has been solved, can you call it like that? As you see, like from all the 4 decklists, there aren't really that big of these changes compared to all 4 of them. Eventually, we got our most recent Forbidden and Limited list kind of not hitting Snake Eyes, Savage, Baron, and Linkuriboh were some hits to the Synchro package, right? And Linkuriboh because of dodge, good hit. But eventually Snake Eyes, they just, came out of top of that with, what was it, the Bestial Dispater and Omega, with Cameron Neal winning OYCS, right? And eventually they just dropped the Synchro package because of Hope Harbinger and so on, right? Ending on Apo, Masquerina. Those names will come up later because of the potential ban list. But again, no surprises, pure Snake Eyes, but let's face it, the biggest reason why Paulo won this because of, look, how many hand traps is he playing? 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Ghost Ogre, so that's Mourner, that's 12, 3 Nip, that's 15, 3 Infirm, that's 18 hand traps, and then 3 Crossout, double talent. So, let's face it, Paulo was preparing for this particular moment. Yeah, he had like so many tops before this one, so it's a solid winner. Obviously, but that's the thing, right? And as we've seen in the OCG for past couple of weeks, months as well with Tenpai, there was a Tenpai decklist, top decklist, what was it, 22 hand traps in the main deck? There is just so many one-card engines now, looking at Snake Eyes, looking at Tenpai, that you are not punished by that, right? You can just slap in more than half of your deck non-engine and still get away with it. And then you can sometimes get those awkward moments on feature matches where, for example, when, I think it was the finals or semi-finals, players activating stuff like Bonfire or Wanted, getting ashed, and then just pass. And there were moments in the feature match where, especially in like mirror matches, like Fire mirror matches, Snake Eyes mirror matches to be more specific, that people always complain, right? That, mirror match is not interesting, but like here in this particular mirror match, or the Snake Eyes mirror matches are so known for just throwing hand traps to each other and hope that the other player cannot play. As we've seen, like Paulo activating Veiler, Imperm on Diablo Star, Ghost Ogre on the Snake Eyes Diablo Star, and hope that Chris was not able to play right after 3 to 4 hand traps. And that's just the complete opposite, right, of the other tier 0 format we've just had. What was it, 1-2 years ago, full power tier Shizu, where I feel that both these decks are on the complete opposite. You had, for me, that's my perspective, you have Snake Eyes on the left side, for example, that's like hand traps, throw them to each other, somewhat minimal points of interaction. If your Snake Eyes combo can resolve, you can go for Promethean Princess, the Salmon Great combo, maybe Zealantis OTK, or, you know, maybe just pump out a big board with Apo and Masquerina that your opponent can't overcome. Or if your opponent is able to, you know, deal with that, throw enough hand traps at you, they will just do the same to you and potentially OTK. While on the other hand, the other tier 0 format we just had was Shizu tier. That was the complete opposite. You all remember like the finals, the first ever finals with, you know, Shizu tier being available, like the whole decks and the whole graveyards being slide over on the screen, and there was like Chainlink 5, Chainlink 6 of the, you know, the Shizu cards. Like that's a whole, the gameplay from both these formats, even though both of them are tier 0, it's just the complete opposite, I feel. And then you have, you know, the viewers complaining like, oh, not interesting. Yes and no. It's just a bit different. Players, some, you know, a lot of pro players prefer tier 0 because again you can adjust your side deck, do that, while other people don't prefer it because again there's no diversity. It's just, you know, people's opinion, but I mean there is some, you know, some truth, you know, behind that. So that brings us with the potential ban list. There is not going to be an emergency ban list. We're still at, you know, like European Nationals is coming up. What is it? End of July. We have Belgium Nationals this weekend, and German Nationals is coming up as well. What is it? Next weekend or really soon? Also one of the bigger nationals here in Europe. YCS level amount of attendance of people, but like I don't see them releasing a ban list before that, before Nationals. So that means that, like, I checked it before. Like, how many YCSs did Snake Eye win already? 7 or 8? Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a lot. That's really a lot. And we saw some glimpses of non-Snake Eyes decks doing well, like Melodious won Swedish Nationals, Herman? I think so, right? And Virtual World won Spanish Nationals with the help of Skill Drain, if I remember correctly. But a couple of months still, you know, there are North American World Championship qualifiers, there's a European Championship coming up, and then eventually Worlds, right? So I really don't see them releasing a ban list. Maybe some small hits, but I don't think so. And speaking of hits, like what could you hit? What should you hit? You could like hit the Snake Eyes directly, the Snake Eyes engine, looking at Flamebirch, looking at Poplar. You could hit their searches, the Diablo Star package. You could look at Bonfire, probably not. But I mean, maybe even Oak you could hit. There are many ways to hit the engine, many ways to hit the deck. But as I've read, you know, on social media, pro players, if you hit Snake Eyes, you're probably killing the deck as a whole. There is some truth to that, but maybe take that one with a grain of salt. Another one, and as we've seen in the finals, right, is stuff like Crossout Designator, where in formats where it's tier 0, it becomes a so powerful card. It has been hit in the OCG for quite a while now, a couple of years, 2-1. That actually might happen, because it's a blowout in a mirror match, and we actually see, and that's a cute interaction, Paulo activating, what was it, Crossout on Skill Drain, right? Fantastic. He eventually won, you know, by doing that. And speaking of Skill Drain, like we saw that, and that's a good evolution where Konami's starting to hit those floodgates like Anti-Spell, Goes in Match, Rivalry, etc. But Skill Drain is still untouched, and there is no way around it. A couple of formats ago we got Skill Drain deck at 3, right? Remember that one? But there's no way that Skill Drain is going to survive a next Forbidden and Limited list, right? Even 2-1 or maybe even banned. It's disgusting card. And last for banlist predictions are, I mean, we already talked about Boreaload Savage, Baron de Fleur, and Linkaribo. Like other cards, they're definitely up there are Masquerina, Little Knight to some extent, maybe. OCG, what was semi-limited Little Knight? okay, but Masquerina and Apo, like the N-words nowadays for Snake Eyes, right, is Apo, Flamebirds for Masquerina, Little Knight, and Hope Harbinger, right? So yeah, just, putting it up there. And let's not forget Promethean Princess. They banned Summon Sorceress some time ago, it's back with an errata, but looking at how powerful and ridiculous Promethean Princess is, it does far too much, right? So yeah, looking at the future, like for, Infinite Forbidden, we are getting the Fiendsmith engine. It's wrecking in the OCG as a superb engine with hardly any bricks, hardly any downsides. Even the weakened Snake Eyes decks are playing the Fiendsmith engine, as you see here in the OCG. Because again, like one of your Fiendsmith is just a one-card Beatrice combo, sending one of your Snake Eyes cards from your deck to the graveyard, which, can be reborn by Promethean Princess to turn on your Snake Eyes combo. So one Fiendsmith card is a full Snake Eyes combo. And that's where, there's like a red flag, there's something wrong with that. So, to conclude, it's still interesting. Look at like the amount of players that topped. Like a lot of big names, a lot of big players, a lot of good players, like they're getting rewarded by the amount of playtesting, so that's a super good sign. But now we've had Snake Eyes winning multiple YCSs. There are some national still, European Championship, the North American World Championship qualifier. I think it will survive up until then, but after that there will just get rid of the deck probably, but that's just a guessing game. Okay, guys, that's it. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Riddim signing out. Peace.